Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today we'll be big box store plant shopping at the Walmart out at Prosper, Texas. As always, please make sure you are hitting the like button for this video, as it definitely pushes this content out to more plant lovers like yourself, as well as following me on Instagram at Grow Folds. You can see that it is a late afternoon out in Prosper, Texas, and we'll be going to Walmart. If you haven't already known, Dallas, Fort Worth area ended up getting a pretty bad snowstorm, and this is pretty much the after effects. This is day 2 of the snowstorm, so you can see that a lot of the snow has already started to melt. Thankfully it is, because it has made travel very challenging for those that live out in the Dallas Fort Worth area. We're not really used to this type of weather, so sometimes whenever you get that snow, everything pretty much shuts down except for some of these retail big box store places like Walmart, Target, Lowe's, Home Depot. I believe that they did stay open, so thankfully all of the workers out there did make it home safely and were just available for the community. But as you can see right here, there is still quite a bit of snow, but we're going to check to see if this Walmart actually has quite a bit of indoor tropical plants. You already know that I've been going to pretty much all of the DFW Walmarts to see if they have those rare and uncommon Philodendron by Growers Bench, as well as the Monstera Thai Constellation. So if you're looking for a variegated Monstera, such as the Monstera Thai Constellation, definitely check out your Walmart, local Walmart. So plant foldies, we have just gone into the indoor section of the plants at this Walmart, and you can see we've got a table of houseplants, and we're going to go ahead and take a little bit of detail on some of the plants that they have available here. So we're going to be looking at some of these blooming anthuriums here. These are for $24.47 in, I believe, 6-inch or 8-inch planters. Really nice value for the plants, and obviously the blooms are really nice. I love the color, but I'm actually a bigger fan of the leaf shape. Now, I do have a couple of anthuriums that I've gotten from overseas, specifically from Green Spaces ID, and I have been collecting anthuriums. But as far as the common anthurium, and you can look at the price right over here, you can find these blooming anthuriums at a big box store like Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, and even grocery stores. These are easy to care for plants. This is basically the introduction to anthuriums. Now, I know a lot of people may actually look at these anthuriums and not be as excited as some of the other anthuriums that you can see. And actually, I've gotten more exposed to some of the anthuriums, like the different types of anthuriums, like the Anthurium clavinariums and all of these other hybrids. But the blooming anthurium, it's still a basic plant, but it's an easy to care for plant. It is a plant that you can readily find at a big box store like Walmart. And you know, as far as these plants, especially these blooming anthuriums, they do come in many varieties. There are many different types of colors. I've seen the black blooms, for instance, but there is one particular one that I'm really interested in getting. It's called the Anthurium shibori, which is basically a variegated anthurium bloom. I really love the look of that. And you can see, as far as the flower is actually the yellow part of that colorful bloom. It's actually that and not actually the color of that flower. So you can see it's really an interesting plant. Now, as far as the care tips for this, you want to give it bright, indirect light. Water it when the soil is completely dry, and you should be good to go. This is a forgiving plant as well, because I've noticed that even if you give it bouts of drought where you're not watering it as consistently, it will still do well for you. So as far as these anthuriums, if you're going to ask me where you will find the most inexpensive ones that you will actually save and get a good budget for, that would be the anthuriums that you can find at Walmart. I know they're basically marketed as a plant that you could put ice cubes on. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. I would recommend watering them and making sure the soil substrate is completely drenched with water, and then waiting for it to completely dry whenever you water it again. And then you can see right here, pineapple bromeliad. So bromeliads come from many different types of colors, shapes, and sizes. This one is the pineapple bromeliad, and actually pineapples, as far as the fruit, is actually part of the bromeliad family. It does have some simple care, bright indirect light as well, and just make sure that you are watering it when the soil is completely dry. Those are the simple care tips for that. And these ones are for $19.97. These are also grower bench plants. And as far as grower bench plants, I really love the fact that they have all of these plants readily available at Walmart. Walmarts and in the Dallas-Fort Worth area have been restocked. And you can see right here, we're going to look at the Philodendron Pink Princess. And I remember finding Philodendron Pink Princess by Growers Bench around this time last year in 2024. There were many uncommon philodendrons that were released, specifically the Philodendron Pink Princess. There was a bunch of like fancy Alocasia, and you can see right here for $19.97, we've got this Philodendron Pink Princess in a 5-inch planter by Growers Bench. And as far as the Philodendron Pink Princess, as I've stated in many of my videos, my shopping videos for plants, you want to be a little bit more selective about the variegation that you find in a Philodendron Pink Princess, because the variegation is heavily influenced by the plant's initial genetics. So if you find a Philodendron Pink Princess that is highly variegated, it's most likely going to push out highly variegated leaves. If you find a Philodendron Pink Princess that has very minimal variegation, it will only push out that very minimal variegation or no variegation at all. So as far as being selective about the Philodendron Pink Princess, it is okay to do that because Philodendron Pink Princess are readily available at big box stores like Walmart, Lowe's, or Home Depot. I would suggest finding the Philodendron Pink Princess Galaxy Marble, which has some really nice speckling and sectoral variegation. I mean, these ones right here don't really have high pink variegation, but I will give this philodendron credit, at least the ones I'm seeing right here. If you like dark foliage plants, especially the stems, definitely purchase this plant for $19.97 in a 5-inch planter. It is not bad at all. What I will say though about Growers Bench plants, especially plants at Walmart, if you wait long enough and these plants don't necessarily sell, the vendors will put them on clearance. I've been able to buy a Philodendron Pink Princess as low as $5 before at Walmart, so I'm not always running out to get the Philodendron Pink Princess. It is a plant though that I would consider having multiples of. That's a plant that I would consider having multiples of. I actually have multiples of Philodendron Pink Princess because I love pink variegation, pink foliage, pink planters, anything pink. I would even go out and venture to say that one of my favorite colors is pink. It's a very nice, bright, happy color. And as you can see right over here, we do have several Philodendron Pink Princess. Now, as far as Philodendron Pink Princess, again, bright indirect light. Make sure you're watering the soil when it is about 60 to 50% dry, so about an inch or so down into the soil. Make sure you're watering it completely. Now, as far as Philodendron Pink Princess, again, lighting conditions to get the best variegation, or at least not the best variegation, because the variegation is really influenced by the initial genetics of the plant. But as far as just getting good growth for the plant, you want to make sure you're giving it quite a bit of light, and make sure that you are providing it with some type of like support for it to climb up a pole, a moss pole, some type of trellis, for it to get the leaves to get pretty large as well. So as far as the Philodendron Pink Princess, let me know in the comment section, plant foldies, if you own one or what you like about the Philodendron Pink Princess, because I am a fan, and then I'm still a huge fan of these blooming anthuriums. And you can see $24.97 for an 8-inch planter of these anthuriums. I do like the blooms, but more so I like the waxy texture of the leaves and even the leaf shape. It's a gorgeous plant, and this is an easy to care for plant. All you have to do is make sure you are staying on top of the watering consistently, and I guess if you want to provide it with a little bit higher humidity levels. Now, this particular anthurium right here is not as finicky as some of the other anthuriums. You can see that this one is in bloom, and it is so beautiful. There are so many different varieties of the blooming anthuriums. I am curious to see that if it is possible to cross breed some of these blooming anthuriums with some of the more rare or uncommon anthurium varieties. Leave it in the comment section if you are a huge fan of anthuriums, if you own anthuriums, and what your plant insights are. You already know that I am admiring that really nice red color and the red blooms on this particular anthurium, and even the leaves are perfect For $24.97, that is a really nice plant price. I believe that the price is right. And if you are going to go shopping, I would definitely recommend shopping at Walmart if your Walmart is definitely getting a bunch of these plant restocks. Maybe later down the line, maybe later this year, I may end up buying some blooming anthuriums. I have two. One was super neglected because I was trying to grow it in semi-hydroponics and I just never filled up the water reservoir. And the other one was growing in straight hydroponics where it was in a bowl, but the bowl dried out completely and I never replenished it with water. And basically the plant went to plant heaven. And that's the thing about having a lot of houseplants is if you have a lot of houseplants, sometimes you are not able to give every single plant the amount of care that it requires. And that's why, for me, at least the trend for the new year, as far as collecting plants and buying houseplants, is to keep it at a minimal, to downsize your plants, to be a little bit more selective and intentional with the types of plants you're bringing in your plant collection, to be a little bit more mindful whenever you are plant propagating on whether you necessarily have to reproduce and propagate plants or to just keep a plant nice and full and lush. So a couple of my insights in terms of just the new year, it is going on week 2, January, 2025. And you can see that the Walmarts are at least getting some of these restocks. And I really love that. I love the fact that I'm able to go to a big box store even after a winter storm to film content because I love the process. I appreciate those that actually give me the time and space to allow myself to talk about plants, especially with the same passion as most of you are. I love plants as well. They bring me so much joy, but to have a community such as the Grow Folds Plant Foldy community to congregate during the live premiere chats, for us to have that open dialogue in the comment section, it is really inspiring and I am grateful to each and every one of y'all. But to go back to the plants again, you can see that Walmart has so many different types of orchids. These are for $17.94. These are the Philodendron orchids. Now, as far as the Philodendron orchids, their blooms will last for a good month and a half to 2 months. They actually thrive with more so neglect. And what I mean by neglect is you don't really want to water their substrate often. You want to keep them more so on the drier side. If you're going to repot a Philodendron orchid, I would definitely use orchid bark substrate, and I would not repot the plant while it's still in bloom because it's going to put the plant in shock and the blooms may end up wilting prematurely. Now, as far as these large foliage plants by Costa Farms, you can see this is a Dieffenbachia for $24.97 in a 10-inch planter. Really love the light foliage. I think it's amazing. And what I also love is the just the light foliage for sure, and just the size of it. For $24.97 in a 10-inch planter, that is a really good plant price. It makes you want to go shopping. It makes you want to go shopping at Walmart because Walmart has some really good value added deals in terms of just the plants. And I love the fact that these Costa Farm plants are readily available and very much so cost effective. That's one of the advantages of going to a big box store, is sometimes you will find really good value, really good plant pricing. And so I love taking you guys on these plant shopping videos because then you are able to see what is currently in the market, specifically in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Now you can see there's a Dieffenbachia on the very right, and then we also have a Dracaena. I believe this is a Dracaena Dorado. Not 100% sure, but this one is for $19.97 in a 10-inch planter. This one is an easy to care for plant. I love green plants, and I do believe that green plants need to be the house plant trend for the new year for 2025. Let me know in the comments if you agree. Like I said, again, if you made it this far into the video, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. And as far as just the like or thumbs up button, please make sure you're pressing that button. It definitely pushes this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. Now, if you're noticing at this Walmart is not nearly as restocked or full. I would assume that in the next week or two after the snow has gone in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, that they will get more plant restock. So you already know, plant foldies, you will be the first to see whether they have some more new plants or if this area gets a little bit more full. Now, Philodendron Narrow Escape for $24.97. It makes me want to purchase this plant, but the only thing about this is it is an 10-inch planter, so it's already a large foliage plant. I really have to be mindful with the space I have for my houseplant collection. Like I said, again, I have a better mindset, a better disposition with my plant collection, because at some point during the holiday season, I was already feeling plant burnout. I was debating on whether I should continue to make plant shopping videos, whether to continue YouTube, because balancing YouTube, balancing plant care, and then also balancing my job and just everyday life, it started to get a little bit overwhelming. But I was able to figure it out. And you know, the biggest solution in terms of like getting out of plant burnout or preventing yourself from plant burnout is to really take your time and make sure that you're covering your bases in terms of self-care, whether it's taking a break. So you already know, plant foldies, that as consistent as I want to be about doing plant shopping videos, or at least being able to make content where I am literally talking directly to you, there were times in the holiday season, there were times last week or 2 weeks ago where I literally decided I wasn't going to upload a video and I wasn't going to premiere a video or feel the pressure to. And I felt okay with it. I was okay with that decision. And it did a whole lot of good for me, because whenever I did go out to film beautiful plants like we're looking at right now, I was more energized. I was more inspired. I felt like it wasn't necessarily a chore. I felt like it was more of a hobby, something that I wanted to share with the plant folding community. So just know that as I do these plant shopping videos, as I go shopping for plants, you will get all of the insight. I will talk my way through all of the plants, and sometimes I may not get into the plants. I will just talk to you directly. But you know, that's really what I want to do with my channel. I want to be as authentic. I want to be able to be myself. And even if I am faceless on YouTube, where you're not necessarily seeing my face, hopefully you still enjoy the process, because I've had some pretty negative commentary about why I haven't shared my face. People have made assumptions, and truthfully, it's because I want to separate my personal life, my personal disposition with life from social media. You know, some people argue that, that if I'm already posting public content, then I should be able to make myself public. I disagree. I feel like social media, you can still have controls about what you want to share with the general world, because at the end of the day, you're putting yourself out there to a lot of people that, number one, you've never met. Number two, it's in a public forum. And I feel like there has to be some type of boundaries that we set for ourselves when it comes to social media. So I did want to comment on that a little bit, just because, again, these shopping videos is really another way for me to utilize the platform to just utilize this place as more of like a personal blog as well. But going back to the plants, I am excited to pick up a bunch of these Philodendron silver swords. This is one of my favorite plants because I really love that silver metallic shine on this leaf. It's a very classic plant, and it is only for $19.97. So if you're thinking about an easy to care for plant, a plant that is a little bit more uncommon and has a little bit more character, you can get a Philodendron silver sword, or better yet, get this Grower's Bench Philodendron campi. Beautiful philodendron. I remember first seeing this last year. There wasn't nearly as many numbers in terms of the Philodendron campi, but I am excited that I was able to see that it's a little bit more readily available in the new year for 2025. And again, I'm picking up another Philodendron silver sword. Here's the thing about the Philodendron silver sword that you need to remember. It does like to climb up a totem pole, a moss pole, or some type of plank in order for it to really mature and give you larger leaves. The more bright indirect light you give it, the better silver grayish tone you'll get out of the leaves. And as far as plant propagation, you can take cuttings in between nodes and actually water propagate them. I do believe that water propagation, when it comes to like philodendrons, you've got a really high success rate versus just propagating them, you know, taking cuttings and sticking them directly in the soil. I would say watering, you know, putting them in water and propagating them through water propagation is probably the higher success rate when it comes to propagating any of those philodendron. Now over here is a philodendron paraiso verde for $19.97. You can see that it's a pretty large plant, and what I've noticed is with the philodendron paraiso verde, you can see that it definitely needs a stake, some type of totem pole or moss pole to really support it. You can see that it is a little bit more leggy in that sense. So you want to make sure that you are giving it some type of support in order for this plant to actually mature, in order for this plant to really show its maximum potential when it comes to the beauty of this plant. In terms of the variegation for the philodendron paraiso verde, I would say that the variegation is not necessarily influenced by the amount of light you provided. It is actually influenced by the climate, whether it's got a warmer temperature. Warmer temperatures will help push better variegation for the paraiso verde, which is really an interesting character when it comes to variegation, because oftentimes whenever you are looking for a variegated plant, typically the variegated plant requires a little bit more bright indirect light, or better yet, that particular plant is genetically disposed to give you either higher variegation or minimal variegation. Now, as far as these bromeliads, these are for $14.97. Now, this one is a beautiful red one. Notice the bloom. It's absolutely stunning. And as far as like bromeliads, they do come in many different shapes, sizes, varieties, colors. And you can see right here, these are beautiful blooms. And I love the fact that if you're looking to save money on plants, I would recommend shopping at Walmart. I mean, Walmart really has cost-effective plant pricing in general. They've got some great planters for a really good value. And in terms of just the plants as well, the fact that the Dallas-Fort Worth Walmarts are starting to get restocked with all of these uncommon plants such as the Monstera Thai Constellation, those philodendrons by Growers Bench, the Alocasias as well. Why would you not want to go to Walmart? And I would ask all of the plant foldies that are watching this video today, whether your Walmarts actually carry a really good selection of houseplants. What plants are you looking to see released in a big box store? Please leave that in the comment section below. I really love the engagement that you guys give me. And just know, if you leave a comment in the comment section for this video or any of my past or future videos, know that I will always respond to you one way or the other. Now, as far as these Alocasias, they look a little bit sad. Some of them have a little bit of damage, but this Alocasia alzanii, gorgeous Alocasia. It's very similar looking to the Alocasia cuprea, which, you know, for a while after I took my Alocasia cuprea from soil substrate and actually converted it into lechuza pond, it has taken a while for it to acclimate in its new substrate, but I am really happy that it's been able to push out some new leaves. The first couple of leaves from the plant, when I actually converted them to semi-hydro, it wasn't the most successful in the fact that it lost its leaves, but you can see both Alocasias, the Alocasia Milo Light, the Alocasia alzanii, gorgeous plants. I would just say for Alocasia, they are a little bit challenging in the fact that I don't necessarily believe they are beginner plants, because they do require more consistent watering as well as humidity and bright indirect light. So lots of factors to think about if you're going to go ahead and get one of those types of plants. Now, I'm picking up a Pachira aquatica or a money tree plant for $14.97 in a 5-inch planter. And as far as this plant is a plant that is readily available. I do think it is overlooked. I do think that only people during the Chinese New Year season would really want to buy Pachira aquatica or the money tree plant. I definitely want to get one, but I prefer the stump version versus the braided form. And you can see right here, I already knew Monstera Thai Constellation was going to be available at this Walmart out in Prosper, Texas. Look at how gorgeous that variegation is on this particular Monstera Thai Constellation. And to me, it's just really inspiring to see that Growers Bench as well as Wild Interiors curated edition will sell these plants for $27.97. And this was pretty much love at first sight. I do think that I'm going to purchase this particular Monstera Thai Constellation. Wait till the very end of the video because I will ask which Monstera Thai Constellation I need to go ahead and purchase, but I'm going to go ahead and pull up all of the different types of Monstera Thai Constellations and have you guys look at the plants. Hopefully you would admire the gorgeous speckling on the variegation. Now, as far as care tips for Monstera Thai Constellation, number one, you want to make sure that Monstera Thai Constellation is not overwatered. So I would wait for the soil to dry out completely and then give it a really good soak. Number two, you want to give this a bright indirect light situation. Now, if you aren't able to give it the best bright indirect light, it can tolerate some lower light conditions, but just know that some of that sectoral variegation may be influenced by the lack of light, so you may not get nearly as much variegation from the Monstera Thai Constellation. So as far as this plant, again, $27 or $29.97 for a 5-inch planter. You can see that this one is actually pushing out a new leaf. And as far as the Monstera Thai Constellation, I know that it is available at a big box store like Walmart, so you can consider this to be somewhat of a common plant. I don't think it's necessarily a common plant. I am concerned though, as Walmarts are getting more Monstera Thai Constellations, I do think that it is still a trending plant. I hope that every single Monstera Thai Constellation is sold, or if it's not sold, I would hope that the vendors, the growers bench vendors, would go to the Walmarts and mark these Monstera Thai Constellations further down. That way they can kind of push these plants to more plant lovers like yourself. I do think that $29.97 is not a bad price at all. And then in terms of the Monstera Thai Constellation, just know that if you're not following me on Instagram, which is at Growfold, I will be posting an Instagram reel featuring the Monstera Thai Constellation that I will be giving out as a free plant. And I will tell you this, as far as free plants, everybody loves free plants. That is one way to acquire a free plant, is through participating in my Instagram Reels free plant Monstera giveaway. So definitely check that out when it is available. But for now, I'm going to keep picking up some of these Monstera Thai Constellations. Please leave into the comment section again if you have any insights about the Monstera Thai Constellation, or let me know through the timestamp which Monstera Thai Constellation you would definitely purchase from this plant shopping video. It is a little bit challenging in terms of just getting the right Monstera Thai Constellation. As far as Monstera Thai Constellation, the things that you need to watch out for plant pests is it is susceptible through thrifts. That's probably the most challenging plant pest to deal with, is thrifts, because it really does attack your plant to the point where you didn't even realize it was sick until it is almost too late. If you see yellowing on the undersides of the leaves or brown tips, you might want to, number one, check if the roots are overwatered, or number two, check if it has any type of plant pests. Thrifts are the ones that are prevalent to getting these Monstera Thai Constellations sick. So you just have to be very diligent in inspecting the plant. I can't even talk today. And I would utilize a neem oil spray. I use a neem oil spray by We the Wild called Protect, which has neem oil spray and some other organic ingredients is that will actually make your plant be healthy and lush and full. So definitely check out We the Wild Protect Neem Oil Spray. I love it. It's almost like giving your plants a spa day, a spa treatment, because what I will do is take a gorgeous Monstera like this, take some of that leaf shine, that insecticidal pest control, and spray it on the leaves, the stems of the leaves, the bottoms of the leaves, with a microfiber glove, to where you can rub that Protect Neem Oil Spray in, and hopefully your plants will be protected for at least 24 hours while you have that solution on the actual plant. And you can see right here, Monstera Thai Constellations. It is amazing to be able to see Monstera Thai Constellations at Walmart. It is amazing that you can find a Monstera Thai Constellation and still save money and still stay within your financial budget. Like I said, again, the New Year's, especially the first, second, and third part of January, a lot of people scale back and make sure that they are being more intentional about their plant budget. Hopefully everybody has started the year off right by either buying plants or really assessing your plant collection. Now, this is an interesting Monstera Thai Constellation in the fact that it did not fully split its leaves. It literally just opened a hole for just anything. So like, take a look at that. Very interesting plant, because usually whenever I get a Monstera Thai Constellation, before it creates fenestration such as a hole, it will actually have split leaves before it does that. So really interesting fact that Mother Nature can kind of alter the course of a plant, or even just remind the people that are around that these plants are still readily available, still easy to take care of. I would recommend going to Callaway's Nursery out in Prosper, Texas, if you want to get a hold of these Monstera Thai Constellations. Definitely go to Walmart, this particular Walmart. I just can't get over the fact that there are so many Monstera Thai Constellations. I am surprised, based on some of the plant commentary, the comments that were left on the comment section, that some of the Walmarts that are outside of the Dallas-Fort Worth area haven't even been restocked. So I do feel very much so fortunate that I can go to many big box stores, and all of the big box stores typically have the same plants. So if you see a Monstera Thai Constellation pop up at one Walmart in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, just know that all the other Walmarts are going to follow suit. And I just keep going back to this particular Monstera Thai Constellation. Plant foldies know that I will be doing a plant giveaway, a free big box store plant. How to get a free big box store plant? All you have to do is follow my Instagram page at Growfold and hit the heart button for the actual official plant giveaway Instagram reel. So stay tuned for that. I meant to do that the other day, is actually upload the Instagram reel, but I've just gotten so busy. And it's crazy how whenever there is, quote, a snowstorm in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, for some reason, everybody just wants to freeze and not do anything, and everything is put on pause. And so that was just an interesting aspect. I'm glad that the snow and ice is going to be melted, and it only took about 72 hours. But as I panned away from all of the plants here, plant foldies, this is amazing to see that they do have Monstera Thai Constellations. I think that it is an important plant to add in anybody's space. Just know if you get a Monstera Thai Constellation, it is going to require more space, because once it establishes its root system in whatever plain planter you might necessarily have, or something super fancy, just know that it will really size up very quickly, and it will even size up very quickly if you provide them with just a lot of bright indirect light, as well as providing them with a stake pole, moss pole, something to really hold that plant up to where it is going to fenestrate and get larger leaves. And you can see right here, I'm going to take just a little bit of time to show you some more of the Walmart planters. I love the fact that Walmart has really stepped its game up when it comes to some of the terracotta planters and just the planters in general. It is important for me, at least when it comes to my plant collection, to find the perfect plant. And typically when it comes down to a perfect planter, it would be one that requires very, very minimal care. It is also one that is going to have a drainage hole in case I want to plant the plant directly into the planter. And also just to check in on all of the gorgeous terracotta planters. You can see this one right here is by Better Homes and Garden, and this is part of some type of collection. You can see that the plant pricing for these planters is not bad at all, and I love it. I love more simplistic planters, so I'm not as big of a fan of the texture of this planter, but I am a fan of the color of the planter. It got a nice balanced tone about it, and you can see right over here, this one is also another hot red red orange planter by Mainstays. Let me know in the comment section what you think of the planters, and let me know if you want to see more plant accessories, plant IDs, plant whatever. Leave it in the comment section below, because I really do read through each and every single plant comment for my YouTube channel, and I respond to pretty much every single person that has taken the time to comment on my video. So really appreciate that. And you can see over here we've still got quite a bit of plants and planters to look at. I am a huge fan of all of the pink planters that Walmart has. You can see that the prices are really good. That one is for $7.98, and you can see that they've got that shallow green planter. It's got a jade look about it, and I love that. Just for these shallow pots, these would be good for succulents and cactus, as well as crawling philodendron that like to go crawl across a soil substrate versus actually climbing up a pole. And then you can see right over here, we've got some red planters mixed with the wooden base. So I would just say that Walmart has really stepped its game in terms of very stylistic planters that could fit many different types of plant styling aesthetics. And you can see that there's different collections right over here. This is the Channing collection by Better Homes and Gardens. So leave in the comments below and let me know what planters you like. I'm just gonna walk around here and pick up some planters, and I would love to see what types of plants you would actually put into some of these planters. Like for instance, this one right here with the embellished leaf. This is something that I would put like maybe a juvenile Monstera deliciosa. That would be a really cute pairing for that. But let's go ahead and just keep picking up some planters, and you let me know in the comments which planters you would buy, if you think that the plant pricing is great, and what types of plants you would put in these planters. See that there are many different types of planters. We even have the ones that are lifted from the base. This one is Mainstays, and Mainstays is actually the more cost-effective brand at Walmart. So if you're looking to save money, anything that says Mainstays is going to be the most cost-effective or most inexpensive pricing for that line. Although I would say Better Homes and Garden is still a pretty good price point for a lot of these stylistic planters. I do like the more neutral colors, like the grays. Like look at this one right here. I'm not as big of a fan of the texture, but you know, that really does depend on your plant aesthetics and what types of plants you're going to put in these planters. I'm not really a big fan of the shiny glazes, although I would say this has a nice satin finish, and I do like this texture, and this is only for $6.94, I believe, in a 5-inch planter.
When you
terms of the planters, I would also say that the white planters are a really nice aesthetic, just because it pretty much fits any type of space. And you can see that we also have some of the neutral colors, and then we also have some of the woven baskets, some of the more natural looking plant stands. And that's another thing I wanted to discuss in my future plant content, is how to style your plants in an indoor space. Super excited to show you my personal plant collection. I am working on doing a houseplant tour, but you can see right here, this is a woven wooden plant stand. Really love the Better Homes and Gardens one, and this one I believe is for $29.97. So in terms of like lifting your plants from the floor, I would definitely recommend plant stands. I think it gives it a different type of dimension, and it just gives a different type of texture. I do like mixing different textures as well, in terms of just like wood versus just like matte finish planters. They've got a lot of the cute little prints on these white planters right here for $6.48. And I'm just going to pan away here and just show you some of the more traditional white planters. I would say if you had to choose between like a specific color, white planters and terracotta pots are probably going to be my go-to, just because they're very simple and very readily available. And then this last one right here for $22.48 is another Mainstay plant stand with a metal plant stand. You can put a sansevieria or a snake plant, for instance, on the ground and have it lifted up a little bit. Really nice one for $22.48. And that's the thing about spring coming along. You'll see a lot of these new planters, and I would even say that as far as Walmart, to give Walmart credit, they have some cost-effective planters. You can save some money buying their planters here, and they're pretty stylistic, especially if you're going for the more Better Homes and Gardens. And you can see right here, I'm going to go back to the Monstera Thai Constellation number 1, Monstera Thai Constellation number 2, and these are all the Monstera Thai Constellations found at the Prosper Walmart. You can see that this is the Monstera Thai Constellation number 3. Look at that sectoral variegation. Absolutely stunning. And that's the thing about these are plant restocks. You can find Monsteras like this, and then look at this Monstera Thai Constellation number 4. Monstera Thai Constellation number 5. So it is my top 5 of all the Monstera Thai constellations you can find at the Prosper location. I'm asking the plant foldies, which one would you choose if you had to buy these? These are for $29.97. It would be very hard to pick because they're all really nice specimens. Please leave a comment in the comment section below. If you were to ask me, I would definitely pick this one, but I am curious to see why you would pick a specific one. Leave in the comment section below. And then we're just going to go take a peek of this We the Wild product. So I am at another big box store called Target, where I am showing you some of the houseplant essentials. We the Wild actually has a 3-pack where you have the grow concentrate, the grow fertilizer, and then also the protect spray neem oil that I use. So these are 3 organic essential products that you can use, and I love the fact that they are readily available at Target. So if you are a Target or a Target shopper, you can get this. And honestly, this 3-in-1 special is really some of the plant products that I use on a lot of my plants if I'm using them in soil substrate. The spray is definitely my biggest favorite plant product from We the Wild USA, just because it has a neem oil spray in, but it doesn't really smell like neem oil. It shines your plant's leaves, but also protects them from like spider mites, thrifts, mealybugs. It gets rid of a lot of these plant pest, and I really like that, and that is for $24.99. You can see that We the Wild also has grow bulbs right here. I love that as well. So if you need some instant sun, if you need to light up a space, you can buy grow bulbs right there. This is for $19.99. We've all experienced fungus gnats at one point. They've got the yellow strips that you can put near the base of the soil to capture some fungus gnats. And then you can see right here, they have the Leaf Care Duo. So this one actually has the Protect Neem Oil Spray. I love it. And it's actually one of the best plant products I could use. And it's also organic. So if you don't want any harsh chemicals, you can take a look that it has the microfiber gloves that you can put on your hands. So once you spray the neem oil spray on the plant's leaves and stems, you can use a microfiber to actually rub it into the actual plant leaf. And then you can see right here, this is the Revive Thrive Duo. So this one has the fertilizer that you can mix in your soil substrate, as well as a grow concentrate. So that is also made from worm castings, totally organic, but it really does help the plants really become more vigorous in their growth. All of these products I highly recommend from We the Wild, and no, I am not sponsored by them, but I really do find their products to be very cost effective, as well as super effective in just your plant care. So I would recommend buying that, and you can go to Target and actually buy it. And you can see they've got some trellises, they've got a potting mat. So as I've done some of my potting up videos indoors, I actually have a potting mat that's similar to that. But the Houseplant Essentials Complete Plant Care Guide, that one is for $29. I said $29 or $25.99. Really good value, and it is one that I would actually recommend. Yeah, it's $24.99. That is a really good value for it, and one I would recommend. And then the next location we're going to be going to is the grocery store plant shopping off of Kroger Marketplace in Frisco, Texas. So you can see that this is really the aftermath, the second day of the Dallas snowstorm. As always, guys, please make sure you are hitting the like button for this video. It definitely pushes this content out to more plant lovers like yourself, as well as following me on Instagram at GrowFolds. I will be doing a free plant giveaway for a Monstera Thai Constellation. Check out the reel once I upload it, and it'll be my 3rd free plant giveaway. But as far as this Kroger grocery store right here, this is a really nice one in the sense that it's very close to where I am based at. You can see that there's still a little bit of snow out here. So we're going to just see what plants they have available at this Kroger grocery store. Typically, Kroger or grocery stores in general have some really cost-effective plant prices. You can get some really good deals for the plants, and you wouldn't really go into a grocery store to do groceries. But now that I've seen lots of amazing houseplants at a grocery store, I tend to go to a grocery store to go shopping for plants, and then I pick up my groceries, if that makes any sense. But we're going to go ahead and take a look at that. One thing I will say about
grocery stores is that they're very seasonally relevant. So you can see that they've already skipped over to almost like an Easter spring vibe. So you'll see that they have these bulbs, these tulip bulbs that are growing in straight hydroponics, so straight water. You can see that those roots are nice and juicy. And if you want something that is going to grow like that, you can actually buy a tulip or a daffodil. And then they also have flowering plants. So if you think about where the house plants are in the grocery store, they're always considered floral items, so they're going to be in the floral department. This one is for $9.99. This is a chrysanthemum, just a white one, really nice looking plant. And as far as chrysanthemums, you can grow them outdoors in a landscape, and what's exciting is that they are perennial, so they will come back year after year. You can see this is a gerbera daisy, another beautiful flower as well. So if you want just some blooms indoors, you can grow some of these indoors. What I would say is they probably need to be closer to a south-facing window or somewhere that gets a lot of light in order for them to really thrive. And then you can just see right over here as I spin around, they've got some more flowering plants. We've got some kalanchoe, some more chrysanthemums. So I'm just going to pick up a couple of these and, you know, wait till the very end of the video to see if I have any more plant finds at this grocery store. Again, for those that have made it to this channel and made it this far into the video, I really appreciate you watching this video. Please make sure you are hitting the thumbs up button for this video. It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. But you can see with the chrysanthemums or mums, really love that, in the fact that if you want some blooms, if you want it to last a little bit longer than cut flowers, you can just get yourself a potted up plant like this. Plant foldies, you can always go to a Kroger grocery store or grocery store to find Philodendron orchids. No matter what time of the year, you will always see Philodendron orchids, which is exciting because if you want that bloom, that tropical vibe, you can go to a grocery store and buy some of these Philodendron orchids. I do have a variegated form that I'm waiting to get to rebloom, but as far as a Philodendron orchid, you want to give it some bright indirect light. In terms of the soil substrate, you definitely don't want to use soil. You want to use orchid bark mix. Orchids are considered epiphytes, so in the native areas where they're from, they actually attach themselves to like tree bark, so that's where their roots are pretty thick and their aerial roots. So this one is for $14.99. Really love the very modern looking planter, but in terms of just the orchid, you really want to have them more so on the drier side. Their roots definitely don't want to be overwatered, otherwise it's very susceptible to root rot. In terms of the blooms will last for about a month, maybe 2 months, depending on the care that you give it. And if you're able to give Philodendron orchids a higher humidity level and warmer climate, it's going to really enjoy that, because that's really the type of climate that these Philodendron orchids have. Obviously, there is a whole world of different types of orchids, but the ones that are readily available at a grocery store like Kroger, for instance, would be the Philodendron orchid. And you can see they've got the miniature forms here, and these are for $9.99. So I'm just going to spin around and show you what other orchids they have. I do love the different faces of the orchids. The blooms are absolutely stunning, and they're super cute. And if you want just something like this for your desktop, that's a really nice looking Philodendron orchid, the miniature form. can see right over here, plant foldies. We've got the Philodendron white measure. This one is for $19.99. This is by Mason Farms. I really love the look of that as well. And as far as this orchid, this Philodendron white measure, look at the white streaks that it has. It's an easy to care for plant. It is a plant that I believe is a little bit more of an underrated philodendron these days because they are more readily available at a big box store or a local grocery store. So if you're shopping for plants, a lot of people will overlook that for more of the uncommon or rare philodendron, but that one is a really good, easy to care for plant. And speaking of easy to care for plant, $24.99. You've got this gorgeous Monstera Deliciosa in a 10-inch planter, and I am all about the green forms of the Monstera Deliciosa. You can see that this is the Monstera Philodendron, which is actually not the correct plant ID, but for $24.99, it's a really nice established one. It's got multiple plants and it's already starting to fenestrate. Look at the leaves too. So with a Monstera Deliciosa, if you actually take leaf shine or more so use like We the Wild Protect Neem Oil spray, it would be a stunning plant. It'll definitely be a showstopper plant, even if it's just a green form. And then you can see right over here, we've got some Hoya Chelsea, just a green form, although it has some splashes, and this one is not a bad price at all. So if you're looking for some rare or uncommon Hoyas, you would be surprised to find them at a grocery store like Kroger's Grocery. It makes you want to go shopping for plants. At least that's what Kroger does for me. They do have some good values in terms of just groceries and food, but in terms of house plants, they do have a lot of cost-effective plants and plants that would surprise you. Right now, I'm not really seeing a big restock of plants, but I still am appreciative of the fact that they have house plants all year. Even during a snowstorm, they still have plants. I'm pretty certain that within the next week, they're going to restock on plants. The one plant I'm looking for is the Tropic Treasures Aglaonema Red Vein. I know that they had released it a couple of weeks back, and I didn't really want to pay $29.99 for it because typically at Kroger, eventually these plants will end up going on clearance and they end up being for like $5. So I was holding off on it, but there are no traces of that Aglaonema. And you already know that Aglaonema for me are a need. I need to buy that plant today and it's just not there. But in terms of all of the other plants that we have over here, this is for $14.99. We've got some spider plants, super easy to care for. And then we have another type of green philodendron. And I will say this in all of my future videos this year, but we really need to be talking about green plants. We need to try to get them trending. We need them to be more readily available, but more so posted on social media so people will go after the green plants. I really do believe when it comes to the plant market, when it comes to the demand of plants, it really depends on who is talking about the plants, what is being posted on social media, because at the end of the day, social media is a very powerful platform and I would love to just take things back to the basics. So looking at all of these plants right here, we even have a Dracaena Dorado or some type of Dracaena, but this is an easy to care for plant. But you can see Kroger has so many house plants for a really cost-effective price, so we're just going to keep looking at these.
You've been chosen to everybody.
These are some of my favorite peperomia. Look at that. This is a peperomia jelly. I love it because look at the borders around the leaves. It's got that nice red border. And in order for you to really get that red border is if you provide it with lots of bright indirect light, it will sun stress it. This particular peperomia kind of behaves more so like a succulent. So the more light you give it, the better sun stressing or coloration it's going to get. This one is for $14.99. With the Chinese New Year just next month, you can see that a lot of places are going to start featuring these lucky bamboo, even though this is actually not legitimate bamboo. This is what you call a Dracaena sandriana. So it is a Dracaena plant, although with these types of plants, it is going to require a little bit more water. It is a bit a thirsty Dracaena right here. A lot of people will just grow this in straight water or hydroponics. This one is for $14.99. And then as I spin around here, we've got a 10-inch planter for a Dracaena Marginata colorama, and this one has all of the care tips right here. I do like that it is a simple and easy to care for plant, and if you are able to provide it with a little bit more bright and direct light, you're really going to see the beautiful margins, the red margins of this particular plant. So if you notice, it's got a very fine, delicate texture to the leaves, and it's one that will get fairly large as well. It can tolerate lower light conditions for a Dracaena, but in terms of the plant pest, it would just be more susceptible to mealybugs. So I always say with any of these plants, regular neem oil spraying would actually prevent that. And then you can see right here, this is a Chinese money tree plant for $19.99, or a Pilea peperonoides. This is one that I want to get. I love the green form for sure, but there is a mojito or variegated form that I am interested in. But I would be totally satisfied with getting a plant like this. This used to be a very expensive plant about 5 years ago, and clearly the market has kind of shifted to where this is readily available. I do think that its easy propagation is what made it more readily available, and that's the thing about the value of prices for plants. Typically, if a plant is a little bit more easy to propagate, the value goes down fairly quickly because there is more of a supply versus the demand. And then you can see right here, Ficus lyrata, $19.99, beautiful leaves. And when you start to look at just the deep green foliage, the veins of the leaves, those are the nuances that I find very much so satisfying, very much so the reason why I want to buy plants. I talk about enjoying our plants and not feeling like we have to water every single plant, or feeling overwhelmed that we have so many plants. The moment you start to take the time to just admire the leaves, to wipe down the leaves, to get them shiny, to just really breathe and take in what your plants are giving you, that peaceful energy, that's when you know that you have a very intentional, curated plant collection. And I am really striving to do that. Things are getting a lot better for me in terms of my personal plant collection, and that's the reason why I'm very excited to do a houseplant tour soon. I do want to start delving into some of my more interior design, plant styling, and just styling in general. So I am pivoting a little bit of my plant content to where there's a little bit more diversity versus just doing big box store plant shopping. Obviously, this is the core of this YouTube channel, is to do shopping videos, but you will see more from 2025, and I'm super excited to share that with you. You will see more plant chores, plant tutorials, and my personal plants, and maybe even my own personal chats or podcasts on my videos. I am part of the Cultivation Corner Plant Podcast. We will be recording and finishing up season 2 this coming weekend, so stay tuned for that. And if you haven't already, please make sure you are subscribed to the Cultivation Corner YouTube channel. It is an amazing plant podcast. I am with Janae Simone and Stephen of I Live Plants, and we talk about all things related to plant content and just plants in general. But as far as this Walmart, or the Walmart at Prosper, they did have some of a restock, but this right here, this Kroger in Frisco, doesn't really have a full-blown restock of new plants. It looks like these are the plants that may have been here for a little bit longer, and hopefully when I visit this place this coming week again, maybe they'll get a restock. But at least you can see basic care plants like this spider plant here for $8.99 in a hanging basket. So let me know in the comments, plant foldies, what you think about today's video. It has been kind of a struggle with the snowstorm hitting Dallas, but I am safe, and I'm just glad that we are almost out of it and things can get back to normal. Luckily, I don't have any busted pipes. I really did prepare for this snowstorm. It was just a little bit of a challenge to get to work and just to complete some of the workload that I have been tasked to do. So these types of shopping videos is really therapeutic for me, and that's the reason why I strive my very best to do plant shopping videos. Plant Foldies. It has been a fun shopping experience today, even though it has some snow out there, but at least I was being safe and I was able to get you some plant videos right now. As always, please make sure you are hitting the thumbs up button or the like button for this video. It definitely helps me out, as well as subscribe to my YouTube channel at GrowFolds with all the notification bell on so you're constantly updated with new content. This is Richie. I'll see you tomorrow. Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at GrowFolds, and today we'll be big box store plant shopping at the Lowe's in Prosper, Texas. As always, please make sure you're pressing the like button or the thumbs up button for this video. It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself, as well as following me on Instagram at GrowFolds. That's the fastest and most direct way to get in touch with me directly if you have any questions about the plants or just shopping in general. It is a late afternoon, early evening run to the Lowe's off of Prosper, Texas. It is the night before the winter storm that is about to hit the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And for those that are new to the channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. Welcome. This will just be a quick little video to just showcase what plants we have available in North Dallas. There have been a lot of rare and uncommon plants already hitting the big box stores. We're also going to visit Walmart. But before we get into that, I did want to tell you that I'm part of a plant podcast show called The Cultivation Corner. Please look for The Cultivation Corner on YouTube. Subscribe to our channel and definitely check it out. We have videos that premiere every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time with Janae Simone and Steven of I Live Plants. But anyways, I just wanted to show you some of these plants at Lowe's. I know that I've been doing a lot of plant shopping videos at Walmart just because we have been seeing a lot of the new trending tropical plants by Costa Farms, as well as Philodendron, rare and uncommon Philodendron by Growers Bench. And then obviously Monstera Thai Constellations have been making it to the big box stores. So we're just going to take a look at some of the plants at this Lowe's location. Typically the Lowe's out in the North Dallas area, specifically in the Prosper, Frisco, Plano, McKinney area, I've always been restocked with lots of plants. I love the fact that there are many plants to choose from. And, you know, to start the new year off right, a lot of people will either just go plant shopping or hold off from buying house plants until spring comes around. The cool thing about it is a lot of these big nurseries like Costa Farms and Growers Bench, Wild Interior, and Urban Jungle have been releasing new plants out, and it's just the first week of the new year. So we're just going to take a look at some of the plants that we have available here. Mind you, some of these plants may not be new, but it's always nice to go plant shopping. And I did want to mention, for those that are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, as this video has premiered, I hope that you guys are safe, stay warm, and make sure that you're not necessarily making unnecessary trips around. You know, for those that live up in the northern states or even in Canada where you're used to like cold weather, snow, and ice, for us out in the North Dallas area, it just seems like everything shuts down. And for those that actually have to work, including myself, I hope you guys remain safe and be sure that you're driving safely. Go super slow because you never know with the snow and ice whether you're gonna just get into an accident, and we definitely don't want that. But I did film this content right before the snow falls, so we're just going to enjoy some of these gorgeous plants. This one is a Philodendron micans. I love the velvety texture of the leaves. That one is a Live Trends, a ceramic hanging planter for $16.98. Over here we have some red maranthas. Love the look of this plant. It is also a Live Trends planter in a ceramic planter for $16.98. These are 4-inch planters, and I really love the look of Live Trends. You know, when we talk about planters and how that's plant styling, I would say Live Trends definitely caters to a more simplistic, more modern look in terms of just the planters. The plants are pretty much the same, but it's really interesting how certain plants get elevated depending on the planter they're in. You can see over here, this is a silver band marantha in a self-watering planter by Live Trends. If you were to ask me in terms of the planters, which big, I guess, plant provider I would prefer in terms of the planters, it would be hands down Live Trends design. Beautiful planters, very minimalistic, very simple. I love the earth tones that they have. And
and even the plants like this silver band marantha, it really matches this gray stone look. I prefer more matte finishes planters, and I'm actually curious for my plant foldies that are watching this video. I always ask questions, and hopefully you all will participate by either mentioning it during a live premiere chat. And if you are new and you've actually made it to a live premiere chat, welcome. Please say hello to the plant foldy community. And if you're just watching this video and discovering this channel, I love engagement. So if you want to share anything plant related, plant insights, plant care tips, leave that in the comment section. I respond to pretty much every single comment. Obviously, I always ask everybody to exercise kindness. If you have something more critical to say, make it to where it is a critique and not something that's negative, because I really don't foster negativity on this plant community. We have a really good supportive plant community at the Grow Folds channel, and I really appreciate every single one of y'all for always tuning in to my daily plant shopping videos. But as you can see right here, super excited to show you live trends designs, gorgeous plants. This one is a Peperomia obtusifolia variegata. That's like a really tongue twister word there, but it is a beautiful plant, very durable. And then this is a Peperomia obtusifolia, just a green form. And if you notice live trends, I just love the shape of the planter as well. I saw some terracotta planters like that at Walmart, and you know, with spring just around the corner, it's actually going to come around the corner very soon. Very excited to be able to find that different types of planters, different types of selections, and some really good news to plant foldies. I am so excited to get my houseplant tour ready to go. I know that some of you guys have tuned in previously to see me convert some of my houseplants, specifically my Aglaonema, into semi-hydroponic substrate. So as you notice, I am pivoting to a more diverse plant content. I'm showing you more of my personal houseplant collection, and hopefully when I'm able to get my houseplant tour, you're really going to see how I take care of my plants, how I style my plants, and how I just practice mindfulness in just truly enjoying the plants for what they are. I am excited for the new year in the fact that you will see more of me, perhaps a face reveal, maybe just me walking around my home showing you my plants and giving you more plant chores videos. I think a lot of you guys have really gravitated to seeing me do plant chores. I want to do how-to tutorials for your plants. So if you like that content, please leave that in the comment section. Please let me know what kind of plant content you would like for me to produce, because I will definitely consider your suggestions. And right over here, this one is an urban jungle ceramic planter in a 4-inch planter. This one is for $14.98. This is an Epipremnum aureum, pearls and jade pothos. It almost looks like an enjoy pothos, but the difference between a pearls and jade pothos and enjoy pothos is if you look really closely at the leaves have some more speckling versus an enjoy pothos where it really just has sectoral variegation. This is a classic, easy to care for houseplant, one that's cost effective as well. This is a golden pothos, or an Epipremnum aureum golden pothos. And with all of the shopping videos I do for YouTube and just for the plant foldy community, you are always going to expect me to show pothos plants, because pothos plants are plants that we all need to add in our plant collection. This one is a marble queen pothos. This one has some really nice cream variegation. This one is also for $16.98 by Live Trends. I know that our plant foldies really want to know some of the plant pricing. This is a current plant pricing in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And here's what I would also tell anybody that's discovering my YouTube channel. I would hope that you would hit the subscribe button, but not only hit the subscribe button, double check to see if you have all notification bell on. So for those that have already been subscribed to the channel, go ahead and pause this video. Definitely check if you have all notification bell on versus personalized notifications. The reason being is sometimes you may not get all of the updates for my plant shopping videos or even new content. I have been uploading more shorts videos, more community posts, and I really want to keep you guys engaged with all of the different types of plant content that I'm putting on YouTube as well. But to get back to the actual plant shopping, you'll notice that during a snowstorm or potential snowstorm, like these Tradescanthia burgundy, these were actually outside in the garden center for Lowe's, but it looks like they brought these in because obviously we're going to expect snow and, you know, these plants are just not going to make it. This one is for $16.97. Again, with Tradescanthia, I do like that they are trailing plants. The only problem I have with Tradescanthia, except the Tradescanthia Nanook, is that they get very leggy, they lose their leaves, and then they just don't look as great. So you would have to constantly prune them back to encourage more growth. I do like that they've been creative about just merchandising the plants, and you can see as far as merchandising the plants and just even the aesthetics behind it, $18.98, we've got a Pachira aquatica stump or a money tree plant. I know with the Chinese Lunar New Year coming around, we've seen a lot of these like money tree plants because in Asian cultures, they believe that these plants bring you good luck and fortune, prosperity and health. And as far as this plant, I love it. I love the more stump form versus the braided form of the Pachira aquatica. The green form is lovely. I happen to get a variegated form from a plant swap out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but I have yet to get a green form. And when I talk about houseplant trends for 2025 for the new year, I want to try to get this trend going where we can go back to the basics for plants. Let's go ahead and get excited about green plants. Plain green plants. We're not talking about variegated plants. We're talking about this green fern, for instance, because I feel like with the green plants, they're a little bit more durable, they're more accessible, they're more cost effective, you'll save money, and they're just going to grow well for you in pretty much any indoor space. Now, whenever you get into the more variegated plants, I just feel like they're going to be a little bit more challenging to grow depending on your light source.
And you can see that there are a lot of Costa Farms exotic angel plants. This one is a Hedera helix, or what you call a Hedera helix English ivy. This is for $5.77. This is the Ingrid Liz ivy. Now with English ivies, you want to try to make sure you stay on top of the watering. They prefer to be more so outdoors because when you grow them indoors, at least for me, they are very much spider mite prone magnets. This one right here is a gold dust croton, and we're just going to keep looking at some of these exotic angel Costa Farm plants. Again, these are for $5.48. I know that some of them might be $5.77. This one is a Philodendron cordatum, or what you call a Philodendron hederaceum. Let me know in the comments section what is the correct plant ID for this heart-shaped leaf. Philodendron, it is an easy to care for plant, and I love the fact that it is just a green plant. And so we're going to just keep walking around here and taking a look at all of these other exotic angel plants. The thing I would say about a lot of these plants is big box store plant shopping are super durable plants. Like this one right here, this is a Dracaena lemon lime. This plant can actually get fairly large. It's one of those plants that a lot of people will overlook, but as far as it being drought tolerant and low light tolerant, it is a great candidate for a beginner. Same thing with this Epipremnum aureum Marble Queen Pothos. Now the thing about this Marble Queen Pothos, notice how the variegation is a little bit greener. That is a result of the pothos plant actually getting less light. So you have to give it more bright indirect light if it's the Marble Queen Pothos, if you want to see more of the white cream variegation. Otherwise, it has the tendency to want to revert back to a green plant, which is okay as well. But if you're trying to preserve that variegation, you want to give it more light. And obviously here is another Hedera helix. I know that a lot of you guys count how many times I say Hedera helix during the live premiere chat. For those that are new to the channel, the backstory is when I first started saying Hedera helix, I was mispronouncing it as Hedera helix, and it's kind of just stuck with the original plant foley community here. So that is the reason why I purposely mispronounced that. You can see over here that is a Hoya, and this is actually my favorite Pothos plant, and this is the Neon Pothos, sorry, Neon Pothos, and this one is in a 6-inch hanging basket for $16.98. Super easy to take care of in terms of just bright indirect light. Actually, more light will give it better neon color variegation. If you actually give it low light conditions, it can be more on a greener tone. And then this is another Philodendron hederaceum, just a green form, or the Philodendron cordatum, whichever one you want to call it. I'm not 100% sure what the full term is for that, but this is for $16.98. And as the new year unfolds, and as we look at all of these new trending tropical plants or just new houseplants that are making it into the market, I do urge anybody that is from a different state, a different city outside of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, let me know what plants you're seeing, because this, for instance, is an example of an urban jungle plant, Philodendron Pink Princess, and look at that caramel brown planter. It almost confused me or reminded me more so of a live transplant because of just how modern the planter is. This one is for $24.98. Beautiful 6-inch planter, and I love the mixed glaze of like a shiny brown glaze with a matte finish. What a beautiful plant. And we'll take a look at this right here. This one is a Monstera Deliciosa. I really love that coffee brown tone about it, that caramel tone. Beautiful plant. And this Monstera Deliciosa, again, is for $24.48 by Urban Jungle Plant. And you can see right over here, we have another gorgeous Anthurium superba, beautiful plant as well. And look at that planter. Like I said, again, Urban Jungle has really elevated the look of its planters. And to me, I feel like putting a plant in a certain planter, being more intentional on what planter you use, really enhances the plant. And like as far as like dark foliage plants, for instance, like if I were to buy this Syngonia Maria, look at the chocolate foliage. Really love the look of that. And you can see that it is just a gorgeous Syngonium. Now with this particular Syngonium, its coloration, the dark foliage is really influenced by the amount of bright indirect light you give it. If it gets less light, it's not going to be that chocolate brown tone, so you want to give it a lot of bright indirect light to really maximize on the coloration. This one is for $19.84. You can see this is a Homelamena Shelby, and you can see that the care tips are there. Feel free to hit the pause button if you want to see that. But this is another Urban Jungle planter. This one, is actually $19.98. Not a bad planter as well. And the Homelamena Shelby, I would say, is a little bit more of a finicky plant. Any of the plants that are a little bit more velvety texture in the leaves, they tend to just be a little bit more challenging because they're a little bit more spider mite prone, which means the velvety texture plants, you want to increase the humidity levels around it. So if you need a humidifier, I mean, I'm not encouraging everybody to just have humidifiers all over your house, especially if you have wood floors. It could actually warp your floors, but some extra boost of humidity will actually repel certain plant pests like spider mites. This one is for $13.98, and I really do love the planter, but more so the plant. This is a Philodendron Lemon Lime. This one is a climbing philodendron, so if you notice that it wants to climb upward, in order for it to maintain that yellowish tone to its leaves, you have to provide it with a lot of bright indirect light. Otherwise, it tends to be more so on the greener side. And you can just see that there are so many Urban Jungle plants. I just love like there's a bunch of like restocks as well. You can see right here, Philodendron Moonlight for $13.98 as well. This philodendron can actually get very large. It has more of a clumping effect versus climbing. And then a bunch of Ficus lyrata right over here. These are super cute for $13.98. You can see that this is a new Urban Jungle planter. I prefer the more minimalistic planters that Urban Jungle has released recently. I don't really like all of the textures, but that's just personal preference. And then this is actually a really good price. I would say this is inexpensive for a Pachira aquatica, $13.98. And plant foldies, if you have made it into this far into the video, thank you so much for tuning in. I do ask that you hit the thumbs up button or the like button to help me push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. If you feel inclined to even support support me on a monetary tip, you can always give me a super sticker or super thanks. I do chat goals in the live premiere chat, and so you can take a look at that, or you can just press the $ if you want to support me with a monetary tip. Obviously, that is not, a requirement, but if you do drop those monetary tips, it does help with my funding for just my plant supplies, my gas that I spend from just driving around from one big box store to another. And you can see right here, love the Alocasias that are coming out for Urban Jungle. These are for $13.98. That was a dragon scale one, and this one is another type of dragon scale, I think. So let me know in the comments if you know the specific plant ID for the plants, because again, I don't ever claim that I am an expert when it comes to plant IDs. I just learn as I go to big box stores and go plant shopping. And you can see right here for $15.98, we've got a calathea of some sort. I don't know the exact plant ID, but it is in a self-watering planter by Costa Farms. What I do like about calatheas is obviously they've got beautiful foliage, but they are just very challenging plants to grow in at least my space. And so as in terms of having calatheas in my plant collection, as beautiful as they are, I am just not going to add them to my plant collection. I do have other options like easy to care for plants, like for instance this one for $15.97. We do have an Aglaonema Silver Bay, and I talk about the Aglaonema Silver Bay often on this channel, and that's the reason because it is an easy to care for plant. Any type of Aglaonema is awesome to add to your plant collection. They come in many different colors and varieties, shapes, and plant pricing. So you can see over here we've got an Aglaonema Lady Valentine, beautiful plant, and I am very tempted to purchase this even though I already have this particular Aglaonema. This one is a Trending Tropicals Costa Farm plant for $19.84 in a self-watering planter. You can see there are several of them, and I just love that very beautiful pink pastel color. With this type of Aglaonema, since it is more of the pink varieties, you do want to give it a little bit more bright indirect light to really get the best coloration for it. It can tolerate lower light conditions, but for the more reddish, pinkish, colorful Aglaonema, bright indirect light is best to get the best coloration for it. It is really influenced by the amount of light it gets. And as I pan away here, there's still quite a bit of plants to choose from. You can see right here, Calathea Dottie. I love the dark foliage. Unfortunately, the one I ended up buying for $18.88 in a 10-inch planter at Home Depot ended up going to my best friend Isaac, just because I really couldn't keep up with the plant care. And then you can see right here, I've been eyeing this particular Aglaonema Red Siam because as you can see right here, $15.98, but look at the leaves, they are super red. I may end up buying this, but again, I am trying to watch my finances earlier this year. You know, whenever there is a new year, a lot of us have the tendency to want to recalibrate how we spend our money, whether we're on a budget or not. And even though these plant shopping videos may inspire you to shop these new restocks for plants, I do understand if you are trying to hold off from buying any plants in the spring. I wish I had that type of discipline, but I've already purchased some plants earlier this year, and you know, I can't believe that it's really only the first part of the year. You can see over here we've got a Xanthosoma. This is a beautiful plant as well, and this one is for $19.84. Self-watering planter by Costa Farm, and Xanthosoma surprisingly is an easy to care for plant. It's like an Alocasia slash or crossed with like a caladium. Now obviously that may not be the origins of the plant, but it kind of behaves like that, where it's still more easy to take care of, and I really love the patterns on the leaves. And as I pan away here, even though I haven't really seen any new plant releases except the Urban Jungle planters, it's still nice to go plant shopping. I mean, this one right here, I remember seeing this the last time I visited this big box store. I ended up seeing this Epipremnum pinnatum Cebu Blue Pothos. This one is for $20.84 in an 8-inch planter. And the thing about Cebu Blue Pothos is it's not as tolerant for drought, so you really want to stay on top of the water. Otherwise it starts to get yellowing leaves, and it definitely needs more light than the typical Epipremnum pinnatum. Otherwise it just shoots out runners and gets very leggy. And then as I spin around here, we do have a bunch of staghorn ferns. really nice looking staghorn ferns. And then we also have some Hoya as well as a spider plant. I think this might be the Bonnie version. And then we have a bunch of rescue me plants. You can see that leaf just fell off. I promise I wasn't trying to prop lift. It literally just fell off. And you can see all of these clearance plants. These are all 50% off. They are screaming to be rescued. Like this one right here, I really do want to rescue this Aglaonema red cyan, but the only thing about it is I don't feel like I'm going to get the best value if I'm going to just pay 50% off, because there's literally only one plant. And as far as like Aglaonemas, rehabbing them from the brink of plant heaven death will take a long time. So, there is a debate on whether we should rescue plants or just really invest into a healthy plant. Because if you do get a clearance plant at a big box store like Lowe's, there is a chance to get plant pest, and that's something you don't really want to add to your houseplant collection. A plant pest infestation is devastating. I've had that happen to me before, and that is the reason why whenever I am bringing a new plant home, especially from a big box store, I am very diligent about quarantining my plants, spraying every single part of the plant with neem oil spray, just to make sure that the plant is free from pests. I also use systemic granules that I sprinkle on the substrate to make sure that the roots absorb it, and then that there is a level of protection from plant pests. I think that is one of the most devastating things that can happen to a plant collection, and for me, that's part of what contributes to plant burnout, when you have a beautiful collection that's all of a sudden infested with like mealybugs, fungus gnats, spider mites, or thrifts. And thrifts are the worst, because once a plant is infected with thrifts, the chances of it actually surviving is very slim. And unfortunately, that does happen very fast. And I do recommend whenever you're going shopping that you consider these plant pests.
You don't want my heart, you don't want my love, you just want me crying over you. You don't want my heart, you don't want my love, you just want me.
You can see we've got some Philodendron pink princess right over here, some Phalaenopsis orchids. I love me some Phalaenopsis orchids. They're readily available throughout the season, whether you're at a big box store, a local plant nursery, a small business, or even a grocery store. Actually, grocery stores tend to have the Phalaenopsis orchids. My care tips for Phalaenopsis orchids would be just make sure that you are putting them in a substrate like orchid bark. Don't ever plant them in just soil, and water when the soil is completely dry, or not the soil, but the orchid bark. But as far as just the plants we are looking at today, it doesn't look like there is a full-blown restock, but I am excited to take you to the next location. So plant foldies, definitely stay tuned to the very end of the video, so you'll see some amazing rare and uncommon plants that will be found. But you can see here, I did want to go pan over one last time for this Aglaonema red cyan that has quite a bit of red on it. Really beautiful plant. When you start comparing it to the regular red Aglaonema, you can see that there is a big difference. And then the pink Aglaonema, Lady Valentine, beautiful plant as well. Again, this is for $19.84, and I do recommend anybody who loves easy to care for plants to go ahead and buy yourself an Aglaonema. That is one intent that I have for this plant channel, is to get everybody excited, get Aglaonemas trending. Maybe they can get as popular as some of the variegated Philodendron or Monsteras, because I do think that Aglaonemas are so underrated, but they are so beautiful. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. I really would love to know your plant insights. But it looks like on a cold early evening, late afternoon in North Dallas, the Prosper Lowe's is still pretty stocked. I love that, and the fact that this was actually the night before this the snowstorm hit North Dallas. I'm glad that I was able to get some of this plant content available for y'all. But anyways, the next big box store we're gonna go to is actually Big Box or Plant Shop shopping at Target of all places. So I'm just going to do a quick clip of some of the houseplants that are available at Target. And if you're a huge fan of Target, if you love your Target runs, I am a huge fan of Target just because they have some really stylish planters and just really good products in general that are great value. But you can see here, we do have a bunch of self-watering planters again by Live Trends. This one is some type of philodendron. I'm not sure if that is a Philodendron Macaulay's Finale, but these are all $15 in self-watering planters. So really good value. It's really exciting to see that there are houseplants available for Target, because a lot of times Targets don't really carry a lot of houseplants. They're not really known as the big box store that carries plants as compared to like Lowe's, Home Depot, and Walmart. But when Target does carry houseplants, they tend to carry like Live Trends planters or Live Trend plants, which actually kind of fits the aesthetic of Target, because I believe that Target is a very classy place to shop. They definitely have some great products, and just the styling around the Live Trends planters really fits the bill. You can see right here, this is a Sansevieria, some type of Sansevieria bird's nest. Beautiful plant, and again, this is $15 flat, and that's not a bad price at all, especially if it's in a self-watering planter. So this basically means you don't have to really do much care for the Sansevieria. And then we'll look at some of the other plants right here. It looks like they have a little QR code that gives you the plant care tips, which is exciting. I mean, obviously this is another easy to care for plant. This is a Philodendron Hederaceum Brazil. Love the plant as well. And you know, as far as the coloration, the Philodendron Hederaceum Brazil tends to have better colors when you're providing it with more bright indirect light. It is a pretty vigorous grower, not as fast as a Pothos plant, but it's still pretty easy to take care of. And then we have a Dracaena Tornado right here, and this is again by Live Trends Designs. This is another beautiful plant, and as it gets a little bit older and larger, you can really see that it starts to twist like a tornado, which is really cool. Low light tolerant plant, drought tolerant plant. It's a plant that I would recommend for anybody that wants to have an easy to care for plant. Actually, all of the plants I have picked up so far for Live Trends in this Target is actually easy to care for. So like if you like Sansevieria or snake plants, low light tolerant, definitely drought tolerant. Actually, you don't really want to water the snake plant as often as most people would think. I would say wait till the soil is completely dry and then wait another week before you water it again, because Sansevieria or snake plants tend to get root rot pretty easily when you overwater it. And then we have some wild interior succulents. So obviously I don't know a lot about succulents, but these are really nice succulents. I do love the perfect shapes that they have. And you can see over here, this one is another interesting one. If I could just grab it, look at the color of this one as well. I just love the shapes of succulents. They just remind me of little rosettes. Beautiful plant. And as far as succulents, again, for the most part, on a general plant care tip, I would say you need to just make sure that you are providing them with quite a bit of bright light, whether it's full sun or bright indirect light. You have to do your research on that, because some succulents cannot tolerate full sun. It's not always the best lighting for them. But as I pan away here, we can see that we've got more plants. I'm just going to keep picking up and showing you these plants. You can see right over here, we've got a beautiful Dracaena lemon lime. That plant will eventually get large. And again, it's one of those plants that are low light tolerant. And take a look at this. I think this is a Philodendron red imperial in a self-watering planter. Again, this is only for $15. Sometimes people will think this is a Philodendron black cardinal, but I do believe this is a Philodendron red imperial, not a black cardinal, but I love the dark foliage. And you can see that this is still in its juvenile state. As it gets larger, its leaves will start to get a little bit more wide, and it's going to have that dark foliage. More bright light is going to give it that darker foliage. So just make sure you're providing it with the right lighting conditions for it to really maximize on its color and its growth. But as you can see right here, we're talking about more philodendron. So it looks like Urban Jungle has also made it into this Target, as well as Costa Farms Trending Tropicals. So, going to multiple big box stores to go shopping, especially for houseplants, is super exciting. So I haven't really seen a lot of Trending Tropicals, Costa Farms plants make it into a Target, but this particular one has a pretty good selection. But we'll go ahead and take a look at some of these other plants right here. This one is a Trending Tropicals Philodendron painted lady for $19.84.
And you'll notice the gorgeous yellow variegation that this philodendron painted lady has. Here's the only thing I will say about the philodendron painted lady. It will easily revert back to more of a greenish tone if you're not able to provide it with quite a bit of bright indirect light. So if you plan on growing this indoors, definitely don't put it in a darker space in your home because it will revert. I would highly recommend growing it under a grow light or a south facing window to really get the best coloration out of it. And for me, this one is only for $15, and that is probably the most cost-effective pricing I've seen for a 6-inch planter. Love the terracotta planter for this philodendron Macaulay's Finale. I am going to go ahead and purchase this plant. I already have a philodendron Macaulay's Finale, but what I really love about this plant is obviously this doesn't even have any leaf shine, neem oil, and it's already got a natural shine to the leaves. So I definitely want to purchase this. I don't know if I'll keep it in the terracotta planter. I may convert it to semi-hydro substrate like leca. And for those that haven't seen my converting plants into semi-hydro substrate leca, definitely check out that plant video. I am showing you more of my personal plants. So if you're interested in seeing what plants I'm growing in my personal plant collection, definitely check that out. But you can see right here, Epipremnum pinnatum albo for $20. This is a Costa Farms Trending Tropical plant. I am eventually going to buy one of these as well. I love Epipremnum pinnatum. They are endemic to my home country, which is the Philippines. And, as far as this particular plant, it is a fast growing plant. Pretty much any Epipremnum pinnatum, they're pretty vigorous growers. The only thing about I would say about the Epipremnum pinnatum family is you need to provide it with quite a bit of light. Otherwise, the leaves will become smaller and they will shoot out more runners with no leaves on them. So that's really the lighting conditions that you need to make sure you're giving up. And then in terms of the philodendron painted lady as well, gorgeous yellow foliage. You need lots of light. Now here is a Xanthosoma. This is for $20. This is another Costa Farms Trending Tropical plant, and it is at Target. So of all the big box stores that you would go plant shopping for, I would say Target basically has the most stylish, most modern looking planters. Some of the plant pricing might be slightly expensive, but you're still getting a good quality plant. And you can see right over here, this is a Monstera Adansonii. I love Monstera Adansonii. The only thing is I haven't been able to grow a Monstera Adansonii long term. For some reason, they just don't end up living for me. They end up going to plant heaven. And, as far as a Monstera Adansonii, it's not a difficult plant to grow. It's just for some reason, this plant just doesn't seem to grow as well for me. And, that goes back to show that some plants may not necessarily be meant to grow in somebody's plant collection. Although I want to try to grow a Monstera Adansonii, I do think that the fenestrations, the holes in between the leaves look stunning. And, these plants can get fairly large. It's the same thing with the Epipremnum pinnatum albo. If you give it more bright indirect light, it will potentially push out more cream and white variegation. It will definitely grow more fenestrations to where the leaves start to get larger and split. The only thing is you have to put it on a moss pole, a totem pole, or something for the aerial roots to attach in order for the leaves to get larger and size up. But this was a pleasant surprise for me to go see this Target. So for those that love shopping at Target, love plant shopping, or just shopping in general, definitely be on the lookout for any house plants that are making it at Target. Again, Target's not necessarily known for house plants. However, it looks like, you know, this season Target may have some more house plants. So I would ask any plant foldie, anybody who shops at Target, to leave in the comment section what types of plants you're finding at at Target, as well as your plant hauls, your shopping that you do at Target. Leave that in the comments, because I'm always interested to see where people source out and buy their plants. You know, as far as my plant shopping videos, I utilize a lot of this as also a personal blog, as well as to get in touch with all of the plant foldies. And I have to say, the last couple of brand new videos, we've been able to get a bunch of new content out, and there's lots of engagement on the channel. So the next place we are going big box store plant shopping would be the Walmart out in McKinney, Texas. This one is right across the street from the Lowe's that I just featured earlier in this video. As always, please make sure you're hitting the like button for this video, and you can see that it is now evening time as I'm coming over here to film this content. This is the night before the winter storm out in Dallas, Texas. Hopefully all of our DFW plant folies are remaining safe and warm in their homes. I actually have to end up going to work the day of the snowstorm and the day after the snowstorm. But anyways, let's go ahead and just take a look at all of the gorgeous plants here. What I'm excited about is to see if I will also find the rare and uncommon Philodendron by Grower's Bench, any new trending tropical plants by Costa Farms, and just another plant restock. You can see right from the get-go, this Walmart is pretty full, and based on some of the comments that I've received for some of the videos that I posted from other plant foldies all over the country, it seems like the Walmarts out in Dallas, Texas are a little bit more full of plants as compared to other areas of the store. If that is correct, please let me know in the comment section what area you're from in the United States or even in Canada, and let me know if your Walmarts have the same types of plants I am featuring. If anything, if your plants, your Walmarts aren't having the same types of plants so far early in the season, just know this is a preview of what you will get eventually as spring comes around. I would say that Dallas tends to get some of these houseplants a little bit earlier than most places in the United States. So this will make the plant shopping fun in terms of just what plants you will eventually see in the future. You can see right here, this is a peace lily, and you can see that that peace lily absolutely needs to get watered. The thing about peace lily or spathiphyllum, it's a very low light tolerant plant, but it is not a drought tolerant plant, which makes it slightly a finicky plant. But as soon as you water it, it will perk up very quickly. And then over here, these are all for $24.97. These are all of the 10-inch large foliage plants by Costa Farms at Walmart. You can see right here, this is a Ficus lyrata, or a fig leaf tree. Love the look of this plant, and this plant was the it plant a couple years back. I happen to have one in my plant collection that I got for 99 cents at a grocery store called Sprouts, and it's in a 6-inch planter, and it's doing very well. It only had like one leaf, and now it's got several leaves, and it's doing well. Surprisingly, I put my fig leaf tree in an area that doesn't get as much light, but for some reason it is either acclimated or is trying to survive because it hasn't really dropped any leaves, and it seems to be living its best life in its current conditions. But I'm just going to walk around here, plant foldies, and just show you what plants they have available. If you made it this far into the video, again, thank you so much for watching all the way through. And if you haven't already, press the thumbs up or like button for this video. It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. I often feature these gorgeous Dieffenbachia maculatas right over here. Gorgeous light foliage, and look at how large the leaves are. These are for $24.94. The only problem I have with the Dieffenbachia maculata is it is just a challenging plant to grow in my
care conditions. So as far as this plant, as beautiful as it is, and I mention this all the time in my videos, sometimes these plants, as gorgeous as they are, if they are not going to fit your space or your care tips or your environment, I would just hold off from grabbing them. Now, as far as this yucca cane, I don't really know a lot about yucca canes, but it is a beautiful plant. I would say this plant is definitely underrated of a plant. It's not something that most people are going out and buying. It is for $24.97. It's another plant that I would definitely add to my plant collection. It's just one that I don't see a lot of people talking about, so I'm just curious to see if anybody is actually growing this plant in their plant collection. Leave in the comment section below and let me know what you think. But as far as all the other plants we have over here, now this one is a Dracaena Massangiana, or maybe a Dracaena Dorado. Either way, this one has some beautiful foliage, very easy plant to take care of. So of all three plants that I've featured so far, the large foliage ones, that would be the one I would recommend. It's all about that basic care plant. And as I pan around here, it looks like this Walmart is starting to really get full. It is a little bit early, it is nighttime, and so it's going to be easier for me to film some of these plants freely. I try not to get people in my plant shopping videos just to respect their privacy. So you will notice that I like to either do plant shopping early in the morning or late at night. It's just easier for me to freely roam around.
Cut the cord that kept us connected, blacking out the mirror where your light once reflected. All of the love from up above, we used to feel like a glove.
We're going to take a look at all of these hanging baskets by Costa Farms. So this is some type of fern. I do like the light green bluish tint of this particular fern. I don't know a lot about it, nor do I really know the plant ID, but this one is for $15.48. Really like the look of this plant as well. And then you can see that Costa Farms is releasing a lot of these hanging baskets. Now this is a lemon button fern, and this is one that I see often at big box stores. I don't know a lot about this fern. I do like the texture of the foliage. This one is in an 8-inch planter for $20.84. I would venture out to buy this fern if I was going to add a fern in my plant collection. Like the first fern I would probably get would be like a bird's nest fern, and then I would end up getting this type of fern, the lemon button fern. I've seen this at grocery stores as well. And let's pan around here, and it looks like we've got the teardrop peperomia and an epipremnum aureum golden pothos. In the previous live premiere, we had asked the viewers, or at least I've asked the viewers, how you pronounce pothos. Please leave in the comment section again whether you say pothos as in P-A-W or pothos as in P-O, or do you just say epipremnum aureum? Leave it in the comments below. I'd really like to know how you pronounce pothos plants. And then this one right here is that teardrop peperomia, and I have been eyeing this particular plant for a while. I would consider this plant a want, something that I've held off from buying, but it is a beautiful plant. Like look at that light greenish yellow foliage, and you can see that there are some little markings on the leaves. As far as peperomias are basic plants, or at least people consider them very easy to care for plants. It would be one that I would recommend for any plant lover. And if you notice, they've got the light greenish yellow tone to it, and then right next to the neon pothos, which is my favorite plant, not favorite plant, but my favorite pothos plant. This one is in an 8-inch planter for $20.84. And as far as the hanging baskets that are available at Walmart, the 8-inch planters are either $19.84 or $20.84. They also have the 6-inch hanging baskets for $15.84. But you can see right here, I wouldn't mind buying this. Actually, it's a nice healthy looking neon pothos. Look at how gorgeous the leaves are. I love the neon colors. I could have multiples of this, and that's the thing about plants. Sometimes we make exceptions for having multiples of plants. This would be definitely one that I would recommend adding to your plant collection. And if you put that right next to the golden pothos, you can see that this is a showstopper. It definitely shines amongst a sea of pothos plants. Love this plant, fast growing. All you need to do is to make sure you give it bright indirect light in order for it to really do well in terms of holding its color. But let's turn around here and look at the Garden Expert 6-inch hanging basket planters for $10.97. So clearly this this is the more cost-effective alternative when it comes to a hanging basket. And I absolutely love golden pothos. Whenever you have one that is lush, full, and if you take a little bit more time and keep cleaning the leaves while using like the wild neem oil spray protect, it will give you some nice shiny foliage. It's absolutely stunning, and it's one that I would highly recommend adding to your plant collection. So really nice looking plant, and it's a plant that is readily available. You can also see we've got some bromeliads right over here. Gorgeous plants. Love the bromeliads, and as I pan away, this Walmart really does have a pretty good restock of plants. Exciting to see that we have some Hoya Chelsea hanging baskets in 8-inch planters for $19.84. So this is another example of a plant that would really tempt me to purchase it and make it a need today, but unfortunately I have too many plants already, although I would say the Hoyas are really easy to care for plants. And on top of that, Hoyas are also great plants if you have a furry friend. They're pet friendly. And so if you want an easy to care for plant, Hoyas are great. They're also known as the wax leaf plant. They actually produce really nice blooms, although I haven't gotten my Hoya to bloom yet. This is another plant that I would recommend. And I just love the fact that Hoya Chelsea is another example of just a green foliage plant. You know, 2025, the new year should be all about green plants, going back to the basics. And this is another plant I would recommend. You can see that this is the care tips that Costa Farms has provided. Feel free to hit the pause button if you're interested to see what the care tips are for the Hoya Chelsea. But these two hanging baskets, I may come back and grab this plant, but it wouldn't be necessarily a plant that I would pick up today. It is a beautiful plant, and they look super healthy and lush.
You don't want my heart, you don't want my love, you just want me crying over you. You don't want my heart, you don't want my love, you just want me crying over you.
Let's talk about these blooming anthuriums. So obviously there are other varieties of anthuriums, but the blooming ones like this, a lot of people think that the colorful part is the actual bloom. Actually, the bloom is the middle part of the plant. I do love the fact that this plant right here is readily available. And while most people would not really run to get this particular anthurium, I love the leaf shape. And this particular leaf shape right here, when you look at the leaves, they have like a waxy texture about them. There is one particular anthurium that I really want to get, and it's called the Anthurium shibori, which is basically a variegated anthurium. It is a little bit pricey, so it's one of those plants that it is a want, and it's something that I will eventually save my money on. As far as like, buying plants, another thing I would also mention plant foldies is really looking at that plant pricing, making sure that the price is right for you. I mean, if you want blooming plants, you can get that blooming anthurium or even these bromeliads. They also have phalaenopsis orchids. So I'm just going to go pan around here and show you all of the plants that they have available. Again, it is exciting to see that, Walmart is getting restocked with plants. I am pretty excited to showcase the more rare and uncommon plants in just a bit. So stay tuned to the very end of the video to see what kind of plant haul I will end up with. But for now, I will be showing you all of the Costa Farms plants. Definitely want to get this Aglaonema eventually. I think this is the Aglaonema Spring Snow by Costa Farms Trading Tropicals, $19.84 in a self-watering planter. This has several plants in the actual pot, and in terms of an Aglaonema, I would say, is it a want or a need plant? It's always going to be a need plant for me, especially if it is a Aglaonema that I don't have in my plant collection. I do have this one in my plant collection, but I'm still tempted to purchase it because look at how gorgeous the speckling of the leaves are. Again, with Aglaonemas, they are low light tolerant, they are drought tolerant. They're super slow growers, unfortunately, but for the most part, they are a flashy plant that I think we all need to be getting excited about, posting on social media and really just wanting to collect Aglaonemas. So that's really my intention for some of these plant shopping videos, is to get everybody excited, perhaps to plant influence you on buying Aglaonemas and really getting that plant to be a trending plant for 2025. And then you can see here we do have some Hoya. So I'm just gonna keep panning over and showing you the plants that are available for plant shopping at Walmart. This is an awesome plant find. I wasn't expecting this. Is a variegated prayer plant. I love the look of this because look at the variegation on it. This is another plant that is interesting in the fact that Costa Farms typically doesn't have this released often, and it's pretty random when you think about it being an exotic angel plant. This is only for $5.77. I've seen this retailing for as much as like $18. So this is definitely a great price. So if you're shopping for plants, if you're looking for house plants to add in your plant collection, this is definitely one that I would recommend if you're looking for a more like uncommon plant, a variegated plant at a big box store. You can see that some of the other ones have been really dehydrated. The only problem with a variegated prayer plant is it does require quite a bit of water in order for it to really survive and thrive. If you let it dry out for long periods of time, the leaves will curl and it eventually will want to go to plant heaven. So you can see these are really the only two that are left. I kind of want to rescue it, but at the same time, you know, as terms of just plants and just trying to maintain my budget for the new year, I really want to hold off from just doing impulse buying unless there's one plant that is really going to speak to me. You know, you can make reasons as to why you want to buy a plant, but for me, it is all about finding the cost, but also knowing whether you should be adding the plant to your plant collection. So for instance, like this Monstera Peru, would love to get it $19.84, but I actually have a friend that was able to find it on clearance for $8. So it's all about whether you need to buy the plant today or wait till it goes on clearance, on sale, or even get it through a plant trade or a plant cutting. That is the multiple ways on how you can manage your finances, especially in the new year when everybody's really trying to recalibrate their budget. But I'm going to keep picking up some trending tropicals plants here. This one is an Alocasia silver dragon. Beautiful plant. I would definitely recommend this for anybody that likes that silver foliage. Again, with Alocasias, they need higher humidity levels, bright indirect light, and a little bit more warmth. Otherwise, they will end up going dormant. And you can just see we've got lots of different types of plants here, and you already know I'm going to have to pick up these Aglaonema. Let me know in the comment section what you think of it. I really think this might be a different variety because if you look at the leaves have a white vein in the middle of the leaf, and that's really an interesting looking plant. Like I said, again, in terms of this plant right here, hopefully more people are getting excited about Aglaonema. Even with the lighter foliage of this particular plant, this plant is definitely one that I would recommend adding to your plant collection because you can put this in a lower light condition and it will still hold on to a lot of its lighter colors. Obviously, giving it bright indirect light or more light will give it whiter foliage, but it's still such a beautiful plant. Let me know in the comment section if you think this is another Aglaonema aside from it being the spring snow. I would really like to know the plant ID. And if this is Costa Farms watching my videos, first of all, thank you for providing us Plantful these amazing plants to buy and go shopping at big box stores like Walmart. Let me know the plant ID. I would really appreciate it, but this is another one that I'm super tempted to purchase today. But I'm really practicing good financial restraint because I want to make sure that my budget is correct, especially when I go to PlantCon 2025 in Orlando, Florida, February 22nd. So Plant Foldies, if you're going to PlantCon, I definitely want to meet up with y'all. Hopefully we can have some great conversation on plants. I've already bought a bunch of rare and uncommon aglaonema from my friend Riki of Art Garden Flowers. Definitely follow his Instagram because he is a Indonesian seller that will be showing and selling plants at PlantCon 2025 in Orlando, Florida. And then you can see right here, Global Green Pothos. Love this as well. Plant Foldies, you can see we've got some gorgeous trending tropical plants, a plethora of them actually. Global green, we've got a Monstera Thai right over here, as well as another global green pothos. Love the Monstera Thai. It is an easy grower as well, and if you want a plant that's pretty fast growing, I would say you can get this one if you like these variegated versions. These are also for $19.84, and I'm actually going to ask the Plant Foldies, in terms of your plant budget, how much do you budget out for plants within a month span? Let me know in the comment section below so I can just get an idea of how much people are spending on shopping for plants. I have actually scaled back on my plant budget. I think it's because I am trying to downsize my plant collection. I'm really trying to get more of a curated look. So in terms of even me doing these big box or plant shopping videos, a lot of it is window shopping, just really looking at the plants and making sure that I can get this content out for y'all. As you can see right here, Costa Farms has produced a lot of new trending tropical plants, lots of plants to choose from, and that's super exciting, especially with the new year just starting. I am curious to see what plant trends are going to be happening for this year. I'm assuming that maybe the variegated Alocasias are going to reduce in price. I think variegated Monsteras are going to be all the rage, but I would love to see like a Philodendron hederaceum be a trending tropical, or not just a trending plant. And you can see right over here, we do have some more Pothos, Silver Streak Pothos right here. It's only for $9.97, and typically that is a Costa Farms trending tropical plant for $19.84. So you can see that you can save money when you find the right price. And this is actually another plant that if I were to purchase today, I would purchase the Silver Streak Pothos or the variegated prayer plant. But these are plants that are really good prices. $9.97 is an absolute steal for this 6-inch planter of Silver Streak Pothos. I love the streaks on the plant, and this is another plant that has become a little bit more common. It is a type of pothos plant. It's an Epipremnum alplissimum, beautiful plant as well. And obviously we've got a bunch of golden pothos here and some easy to care for plants for only $9.97. And as far as the plant pricing, you will save money. You will be able to really reel in your finances when it comes to buying certain plants like this Dracaena Lemon Surprise, $9.97. Gorgeous plant, super underrated, super overlooked. It is a basic plant, but the care is so easy, and that's really all the plants that we need are easy care plants that really are hassle-free, and this is one of them I would recommend for anybody that is shopping for plants today. Get yourself a Dracaena Lemon Surprise. Beautiful plant, low light tolerant, drought tolerant. It's got all of the characteristics you want in an easy care plant for a great price. Is what I was talking about, the Philodendron Pink Princess here for $19.97 by Growers Bench or Wild Interiors Curated. Love this, and this one actually has pretty good variegation. So if you're looking for a Philodendron Pink Princess, Growers Bench has them available again at Walmart. These ones have pretty good variegation. Again, with Philodendron Pink Princess, you really want to find one that has some really good pink variegation from the get-go, because the variegation is really influenced by its initial genetics versus actually getting it to push out more variegation by giving it more light. Light doesn't necessarily influence it. It is one of those philodendrons that it's really the genetics of the plant. Now there is another Philodendron Pink Princess variety variety called the Philodendron Pink Princess Marble Galaxy, which has a lot of speckling, a lot of high variegation. So that particular line of Philodendron Pink Princess is the one I would seek after. Sometimes you will see it, but this one right here is a pretty good one. What I like about Growers Bench Philodendron Pink Princess is it actually has darker foliage leaves with the stark pink variegation. Love that. I love dark foliage plants. And speaking of dark foliage plants, I'm going to try to get this one out. It looks like one of the Alocasia leaves are stuck on it, but this is the Alocasia alzanii, beautiful plant as well. And that is another wish list plant of mine. That is a want. It's not necessarily a need because it's an Alocasia. I have to wait to get lechuza pond, which is a semi-hydro substrate to put in, because I've noticed that once I've actually converted these Alocasias into semi-hydro, they grow so well for me and it just makes the plant care easier. You can see I was struggling to try to get that plant, so I don't want to like break any like leaves, but this one right here is an Alocasia Milo Light. I have one of these. What a beautiful Alocasia as well. When you touch the leaves, it's got a very leathery texture about it. It seems very durable. And that one is also for $19.97 by Growers Bench. This one is another Alocasia alzanii. Beautiful plant. It looks almost like an Alocasia cuprea, but you know, as far as getting the right substrate, I'm gonna wait to get it until I can get lechuza pond. And you can see right here, Monstera Thai Constellation has made it to all of the Walmarts I visited out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. This one is for $27.97. So here's the thing about Monstera Thai Constellations. They used to be super rare, highly sought after about 5 years ago. I remember spending about $200 for a one leaf, one node cutting that I had to propagate in water in order for it to actually acclimate. I still have that same Monstera Thai Constellation. It is about 5 to 6 feet in height. It's got really large leaves, and so I was really happy about that. But now these are Monstera Thai Constellations that are now at big box stores. You can see they come in many varieties of variegation or levels of variegation. This one has some really nice sectoral variegation. This one is right off the bat a really nice looking specimen, and you can see this one has more speckling on it versus sectoral variegation. All of these Monstera Thai Constellations are gorgeous, and I will be doing a free Monstera Thai Constellation big box store giveaway on my Instagram reel, so definitely follow me on Instagram at growfolds. But you can see right over here, this one is an example of a Monstera Thai Constellation that doesn't have high variegation, and you notice that every single leaf has only very minimal variegation, so that would be a candidate I wouldn't necessarily purchase if I'm buying the Monstera Thai Constellation for the specific variegation. But you can see the majority of these have really nice variegation, very balanced variegation aside from the one that's mostly green. It doesn't mean that the mostly green Monstera Thai Constellation isn't a plant that can get a home. It's just that if you're looking for that Monstera Thai Constellation look, that one wouldn't be the best candidate for it. $27.97. Care tips for Monstera Thai Constellation would be let the soil dry out completely. Do not overwater your Monstera Thai Constellation. It needs to have a more chunky aeroid soil mix, or you can convert this into semi-hydro substrate. I just recently converted mine into leca, which is clay balls, and I think that it's going to do fine for it. The reason why you don't want to overwater a Monstera Thai Constellation is this particular plant is very susceptible to root rot, especially in its initial infant stages like this. Now, as it gets a little bit larger, it may not have as much susceptibility for root rot, but for something like this in a 5-inch planter, I would definitely not overwater it. I would let the soil dry out completely. Another thing I would say about Monstera Thai Constellation as far as plant care is it is susceptible to spider mites and thrifts. Thrifts are probably the one thing that will destroy a Monstera Thai Constellation very quickly. I've had thrifts outbreaks in my home, so it's actually taken some of my Monstera Thai Constellations to plant heaven. My original one actually had a really bad thrift infestation. I was able to save it, and but you can see that the damage on the leaves. So if you start seeing yellowing on the tips, yellowing on the bottoms of the leaves, that is thrifts. You have to get really aggressive with the plant pest spraying. So if you want to get like neem oil or insecticidal soap, definitely spray it. I have a routine of spraying my plants at least once a week with my plant foldy mist neem oil spray that I do as a DIY spray. So as far as that's basically the care tips for Monstera Thai Constellations. Really happy to see that big box stores are actually getting it. And you can see this is my top 5 Monstera Thai Constellation picks. Let me know in the comments section which one you would pick. I would pick the one that's at very top in the very middle as one that I would take home or purchase. I've already bought 3 Monstera Thai Constellations. I went shopping at Walmart for them, and I just really think that in terms of the value, in terms of the price, $29.97 is not a bad price at all. And for Monstera Thai Constellation, it's a fairly fast grower considering it is a variegated plant, and it's one that I would highly recommend, especially if you want something that's a little bit more durable, definitely more cost effective. So if you want a variegated Monstera, when you compare the Thai Constellation versus the Monstera alba, I would go with the Monstera Thai Constellation. And the only other plants that I have left would be this Philodendron paraiso verde, beautiful plant. And this one actually is a good specimen if you were to purchase one from Walmart. Some of them have been a little bit leggy, but this one has quite a bit of foliage. It looks like there are 2 plants, and you can see that there is a new leaf that is about to push out and unfurl as well. Now, as far as the variegation on the Philodendron paraiso verde, it is impacted by the amount of heat or the climate it's in versus the light. So just keep that in mind. If you want more variegation to come out, put it in a warmer climate for the paraiso verde. Philodendron silver sword, beautiful plant. I ended up finding an aglaonema that has that same silver tone to it, and it's absolutely stunning. And if I were to pick a green plant to talk about, it would be this Philodendron campii, beautiful plant as well. Look at the leaves, look at how it has a natural shine to it, and then also just the shape and narrow size of the leaves, and also just the texture. Beautiful plant. This one is for $19.97. So if I had to pick between the 3 Philodendron today, I would buy that green plant. There's just something beautiful and elegant about the simplicity with the Philodendron campii. But as I pan away here, plant foldies, this is another beautiful plant haul. Walmart is definitely restocking. I urge everybody to go shopping at Walmart if you're looking for some of these rare and uncommon plants, specifically for the Monstera Thai Constellation. If you're looking for some fancy or more uncommon Alocasia by Grower's Bench, and obviously the philodendrons that are available as well. So hopefully you've seen multiple big box store plant shopping videos. You can see that I visited Lowe's, Target, and Walmart, and it's just exciting to see more of these plants in the market. So please make sure you are pressing the like button for this video. It helps me out a ton. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel at Growfolds. I'll see you on the next one with a brand new video tomorrow.